Welcome to this demo. So this spreadsheet will allow you to track your savings. I have just created 3 here, but you can have as many as you like. And that gives you a goal. You can track the percentage completion, how much you've saved, and more importantly, I suppose, at the speed at which you've been saving. So we'll have some data here. The data will tell you if you're on target, because the spreadsheet will be able to calculate your predicted completion based on your current savings rate. So that will tell you if you can meet your deadline goal or not. So you can tell you how much money you have to save, when you started the challenge, how many days you started, the deadline that you set yourself, how many days until the deadline, and the savings per day, and also the savings that you need to make per day to move forward and meet your goal on time. So to use the software is pretty easy. You just update the fields in yellowish here. So it's a multi-currency spreadsheet, so you can decide which type of currency you have, and you just put it here, and that's the amount you save that you put here. So just to show you the currency here, for instance, I'm working with 3 different types of currency, and it's not hard-coded. You just have to specify the currency if you want it before the number or after, and you can even go crazy and have both. For instance, here I just put USD, and that will give me $100,000 USD, $700 USD. But you probably will want to stick with only one currency. And here, very simple, here you put a date or a description, as long as there's something here to specify that you have actually made a payment, that you actually saved money, and you put the amount here. So this is what your spreadsheet will look like at the end. And it's pretty easy. There's no very complicated formula, so I'm sure you'll enjoy working on this. So let's get started. So first we create a small table here with 5 rows and 2 columns. In the first one we'll put the amount to save, the currency before, currency after, start date, and a deadline. So I'll explain those quickly. So amount to save, that's quite obvious. You can put your amount here that you want to save. The currency before, so that's a currency that you want to put before. But I know that sometimes the currency needs to be put after. So either have one or the other, or you can have both. So the start date, so that would be the start date of your project, or when you want to start savings. So for instance, here I can just put 1st of January 2024. And you format it this way. I think it's best to format it this way. So the format here is, so let me do that again. You right click on this, format cells, and you go under custom. And here you put D/MMM/YY. So when you put MMM, that will actually spell out the month. And I do that because I know that in the States it's the month before, in Australia it's the day before. The parts of the world can be different. So this is what I like to do, so everybody understands what we are referring to. So there's a deadline also that you can put. Here, for instance, I want to achieve this by 2024. So this is the color that I've chosen to highlight which fields are to be updated. So I just go under the first yellow here, theme color, the first yellow. So this way we know where we need to input, and we know what we need to leave alone. So here I have a bit of a color scheme with a X. If you don't know how the hex works, you just go on the cell, like for instance the header of that table here. You go under theme colors, standard colors, recent colors, but you ignore that. You go to more colors. You go under, you have custom, and this is where you input your X. And here, for instance, for this, it's 8A83E7. So I'll be doing, for the first saving types, I will be using variation of the purple color. So let's have a look at this table now. So this is the table where we'll be actually inputting the data. So this is why I need to put it in light yellow. So just put the light yellow. First, you can input a date. So the date is not used as such. It's more for you to remember, or instead of the date, you can put a description maybe. So this will not be shown. It's just for your records. But what will be shown on the other end is the amount. So here, for instance, I'm going to stick to dates. I'm going to say the 1st of January 2024, and I'm going to save $100. So how large this table should be, it depends on your goal really, but here I have around 15 So I think that'll be sufficient. Maybe you can group them when you have too many small amounts that you give. But if you say want to save for a house deposit, then you might need more more rows than this. So you can either expand that or you can group the amounts there. So here I'm calculating the total. So just going to put another one so it's a bit clearer. I'm just going to put $50 this time. So I will be calculating the total as we progress to put it on the chart. So for the first one, I just put the 100, which is on the left. For the second one, I just take what's above and I add the amount on the left. So it's 150. So that will progressively add the total amount. So on the chart, it's going to look pretty ugly if we see all this 150. So I need to add a condition. So the condition, I will start it here. I will say if the description or the date here is not blank, then I will do this. Otherwise, I will put not applicable. And not applicable, the chart won't be able to pick it up. So here, if I go and drag that down, I will have all this NA that we can remove if you don't really like the look of those. But for the time being, for clarity, I just want to leave them. So here, the amount here is the amount that you want to save. Equal, and I put the amount to save here. And then I just refer to it at the top. And here I will drag it all the way down and we'll see how it works on the chart. So that's it. So we already have our two tables. We have data to input here, and we have our amounts here. I will come and input all our data. Now the next step is to start doing some calculations. Before we continue, just for clarity, I'd like to add some headings. So I've already put some headings here using the E7 color here. Now I would like to just clarify that this is the savings. So I will be using this color here. So I'll do it once, and after you know how it works, you can do it yourself based on those colors here. E3, F9. Because once you've done it once, when you go back to your colors here, they will be under the recent color. So you just can guess who they are. So I have the 3 already here, so I don't need to do this manipulation every time. And I want to merge those two cells, so I'll just merge and center. And I will be saying savings here, just to keep it simple. So this is where we will input our savings. I put it in bold. I put borders around it, and I'm just gonna put it in the center. And let's see if it works. I copy that here, and I just paste it here. Yes, so that's a savings goal here. I will call that a savings goal. I will be also merging those cells, but here this is more calculations that I'm doing here. So I'm just going to call it work area. And I don't need to put any fancy coloring to this. I'm just going to keep it white or even a very, very light gray. So this is a working area. I could even put working area. Okay, so we'll do this one in a minute. So now we can start the calculation. The first thing I want to calculate is the total that we have saved. So I just press the auto sum and I want the number here, so it's 150. Here I want to show what is left to be paid. So I'm not formatting much. All the interesting stuff will be put at the top here. So this is more like a working area. I'm just going to put what we had to start with minus what we have saved, and we have 850. And here I want to put back the general format so it's all nice and centered. Now I want to format those just in case I need them later on using the currency. So to format that with the currency, I'm just going to concatenate the currency and that number. So I'm just going to put equal to the first currency and not this number directly. I want to use the text so it's formatted properly. And I put the other currency at the back. So this is how it works. I just, brutally take the currency before and the currency after. The reason why I have this text here is I want to make sure that Excel gives me this number under a decent format. So if I had 2000 here, I want to make sure that it keeps the comma here. using the text is a bit longer, but that reduces the risk. Now, if you want a space between the dollar sign and 150 here, I just put a space after here. And a currency after that, just in case, sometimes like for Australian dollars, for instance, you present it this way, so you see 150 and that odd, or if you have your currencies after, then you have this flexibility. But I will be leaving the dollar here. So I want to format this one the same way, so I'll be locking the currency fields here by pressing F4, and I will be doing it this way, and it comes automatically. Now I want also for later use, I want to calculate the percentage of what has been saved. That's for the chart. I just divide this number by what we are supposed to save. And then I'll do the same with this. And I will just be selecting those two fields, format them, and put the percentage sign. Okay, so now let's have a look at this working area here. So I've created this working area, and there's a few fields here that we'll be working on. So the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to format the goal even more, because I wanted to put them into the text boxes. Okay, so before we get started with the goal formatted here for the text box, I'm just going to format it the same way that I had it here. So I'm just going to put here, I'm just going to put the goal, and I'm going to drag that down. So it's already, all the calculations already done. So I want to use this as a starting point. The lines at the center. So what I want to have is I want to have some text. Goal. And this amount here. So this way I just have to put it in a box later on. Saved, formatted, same thing. The difference is I want to save it after. So I want just to put equal this has already been formatted. So that's text now. And saved. That'll make it easier for us later on. So today's date, we use the Excel function today. And I'm just going to copy the format that I had here. Format painter, put it here. But I need to remove the yellow. So I remove the yellow and I put no fill. So remember, the yellow is for the fields that we need to input on when we use the application. Days in start, so that's easy. We just need to subtract today's date from the beginning of the of the thing, which I'm going to get caught here because, so maybe I just to be a bit more realistic, I'm just going to put 1st of November 2023. Okay. So I have 15 here, so it's a little bit more realistic. Obviously, those dates are wrong now, but that doesn't really matter because we're not using the day to do the chart. So save by day. How much have I saved by day? So how much have I saved so far? I've saved 150, and I divide that by the number of days. So I have saved $10 per day. Well done. Now, how many days until my deadline? So I'm just not going to do the formatting here because I'll be doing on the upper field there. Days to deadline, I have the deadline date minus today. I have 198 days, plenty of time. So how much do I need per day? That's a question. First of all, I'm going to do a basic check to check if there is still something left to pay. So if this is greater than 0, what I need is the amount of money remaining, this money remaining here, divided by the amount of days. And otherwise, I just put 0 if there's no money left. Okay, needed per day, so that's not formatted. I can just do it very roughly here. So here, actually, I just need to, I'm going to move this one up so it's a bit clearer. Here what I'm doing is I'm just simply calculating how many days required. You know, if we assuming that we keep the current rate of saving, how many days are required for me to meet my goal. So I currently save $10 per day, and we still need to pay 850. So I'm just going to use the same calculation. So first of all, I just check that if there is something left to pay. Then if there is something left to pay, how many days required? So I will be dividing 850 by 10. What I need to pay by how much I save per day. And or else I'm just going to put 0 here. So I need 85 days. So, and predicted completion date, then how much does that give me? Sorry, I just need to put it here. So here I am today, the 16th of November. If I had 85 days, that means 9th of Feb 2024. So that's good. The prediction, I wanted to do that by the 1st of June, but at the current rate I'm doing, it'll be ready by the 9th of February 2024. So it's pretty good. Now I have copied another table here, so this will be more on a dashboard, and we want things to look better here. Here that was just a work area, so we didn't put a lot of effort on it, but here that needs to be understandable by whoever is using the spreadsheet. For the status, I have some calculation here. So first of all, I check if the amount that we have saved so far, 150, is greater than the goal that we had, which is 1,000. So if that's the case, I just put goal met. By the way, if you don't know about ifs, it just allows us to put several conditions in a row like this. So the first conditions, if it's met, then I will do this, and after I will stop the function here. Now the second condition that I have is, are we on target? So in other words, our predicted completion date is at smaller or equal to our target. So here, for instance, so here I'm checking if the predicted completion at current date, is it smaller than what we had in mind? Yes. So I will put on target. And for anything else, I will just put late. So there's no shaming, but I will just put late. So here we are in a situation where I have done well and I'm on target. But if I just had saved, let's say, around 1, so that wouldn't be as good and I will be considered late. So, and if I put 1,000, say, it should have goal met. So that's done. So I'm just going to go back to something a bit more realistic. Okay, on target. Now distance from goal, so that's easy. We just take what we had calculated here. But I'm taking the formatted one, so I'm taking this one. So it's 800. Challenge started, so that's a reminder of our start date here. I'm just going to format everything, merge and center. Oh, sorry, not merge, but just center everything here. Days in start. So now I just have to go and pick things up more or less. Days in start, I can put here the 15. But here also I have the choice of either formatting it using the right click and format cells, but I'm just going to do the same process here. I could have done the formatting in the working area, but I'm just going to do it here this time. And because the downside of when you format this way is that you cannot use the number as well. Like for instance here, if I had formatted it with days after, I wouldn't have been able to use this as a number. So here it's good because I'm just displaying stuff now. The deadline, I'm just a reminder of the deadline here. So how many days until our deadline? Days to deadline 198. And here I'm just going to copy the formatting. I'm just going to, actually I cannot copy the formatting. Just going to have to do it again. So days. Predicted completion. Pressure. So here, this one. Savings per day. Saving per day is 13. So here I will need to format this, and needed per day 404. So savings per day, I could remove all the dot and just leave it like this, or I could just also bring back the currency. Okay, good. So we have more or less all the data. Now we can do the final steps of the dashboard, just checking everything is okay. So now for the fun part, I suppose I'm just going to format all this to make it look a little bit better. So I think I need more rows, so I'm just going to insert more rows here. I'm going to merge those two cells, and I'm going to give it the light. That's it, the light purple here. And this is where you will put your goal, what you want to save. So let's take the basketball ID then. Just going to put basketball here, just going to put it in white. I'm just going to put it in bold, and I'm just going to make it a bit bigger. So this is not my favorite font, but it's a bit time consuming when I keep changing the font just to show you. So I'm just going to, this is the batch grid condense that I use usually. So I will be doing this in the end. So I'm just doing it once here to show you. But after I will go back and change the font on the dashboard itself. I want to use this type. But all there was just a basic Arial font. So to make it slightly more motivating, what I like to do, if possible, you can bring back a picture or an icon, something just to visualize quickly as well. I know they all have different colors, but all your savings will have different colors, but sometimes it's a good idea. So here in this instance, it's quite convenient. I'm sure I will find a basketball here when you insert an icon. If I put basket here, no, ball, basketball, no, basketball. Okay. Thank you, Microsoft. Oh, I took the wrong one. I think I need to take more one that is full, so it looks, I want to put it white. A full one. Now I've got both, so I need to get rid of this. And here, I will just put it here. You can put reflection if you like, but I'm just going to leave it white for the time being. That's it. So now I'm just going to apply the very light purple here, so we can differentiate our savings easily. I'm going to create a couple of text boxes before I do the chart. So for text box, instead of just doing insert text box, I just like to go into shapes and use the rounded one here. So it's either on top here or the rectangle, the second one, rounded corners. Everything is square with Excel, so I just like to challenge it a little bit. And that's it. As a shape fill, I want to have my deep. So this is the deep purple here that I had. Yes, I want an outline, but I'm just going to use it a white outline here. And to filling that form here, you just press on the side, and you go here, and you just put equal to $1,000 here. Okay, so it usually messes up my formatting, which is done. Just going to put that in the white. And you just need to play with the size to make sure that it takes it into account. Prefer this font here. So you put your goal here. Now I'm just going to duplicate this, Control D, and then this one I don't want it too deep. I just want to use the second purple here, and I want to put it at the center this time, and start the motivation a little bit. Oh, I don't know why I bother, because so I suppose as soon as I change this field here, Excel is going to remove the formatting, so be patient. 200 saved. So this is the one I wanted to have here, 200 saved. But here I just go back here. I just use the format painter. I repaint this. It's not yet completely this because I need to change the color, but that's already easier to do. So that's it. So I'll just put it here. I'll do the fine tuning later on. I still want that a little bit bigger though. Okay. So I just need to add the two charts and then we can duplicate this very easily for the other savings. So once you've done the first one, you are out of the woods more or less. Just need to give you some additional, if you want to use the same coloring, just need to give you some additional coloring here. But those charts, okay, the first one we want to use is the percentage down where we are at. So here, I just select those two, 20, 80%. I just do an insert, and I select a donut. I remove the chart title and the legend. Put it here. I remove the background, the shape fill, no fill. When you format the data series here, you need to put a donut hole size that I believe, depends on your taste, but I prefer when it's a bit fatter. So you just take this. So here you click on the amount that has not been completed. So here that would be 80%. And you put that into a dull color. I put that into a dull gray, maybe this way. And the one that has been completed, I'm going to follow my color trend. So I'm just going to put a dark. Maybe this is too dark. Maybe I just put the second level one. I just need to remove the shape outline of these. Shape outline, no outline. And I will be adding labels. So the labels, the 80%, I don't want it. I want to stay positive. And I want to say, this is what I've done. Let's not focus on what I have not done. Just so this is what I've done. And then for this, I could remove what I call the leader line here. So just click on the leader line and I remove it. And then I just need to format this so it's bold and a deep color. And it's a little bit bigger. So all this can be done with using this area here. And I'm actually going to use the bench script here that I have. That's it. I just put it around here. And now another chart. Now the chart is easy. So this is the one. So I'm just going to add more progress here. Just drag that down to drag more things. I'm just going to give a bit of variety here so it's a little bit more obvious. And now you can understand why I've put this 1000 here. So this is the goal. I've just copied everything as a goal because I want to have this also on the chart. So to do a chart, I'm not going to use the date or the description. I'm just going to use all the amounts here. I'm just going to put them here. And I click on the Control key on my keyboard. Select this, click on the Control key, and I select all the 1000 as well. And here I'm just going to do an insert. And I'm going to select the line with chart. Now I just realized I selected the wrong data. I just need to select the total. There you go. So if I didn't have the NA here, it would drop back down to 0 and it wouldn't be a pretty sight. So I just prefer when it's like this. So now I can remove this. I think that'll be pretty self-explanatory. I can remove this. I will be removing the background. Format, shape fill, I will be removing the background. So I'm just going to put it on top of the purple so it's a bit more obvious what I'm doing. So I will be removing the chart title. Just going to remove the shape outline. No outline. Now I'm just going to do some basic formatting on this. So I don't want an axis on the left here, so I just click on the axis and I press delete because I want to show data labels here. That'll be a little bit more motivating, I hope. So I just put the line here. I just want the line is a bit too thick for me. I just want something around 0.1, 0.75. I want my usual purple color, but I want to go for the deep purple here. I want to, and I press on the marker here, I want to format the marker. So I just going to go for the size of 6. And for the fill, I'm just going to go to the usual deep purple here. But I want to put a border, and I want to put a white border so it stands out. White and 0.75 roughly. So this, I want to be super fancy and just put a shadow now. Click on Series Option, Shadow, press just the first one will do. Now we'll be right-clicking on this, and I will be adding data labels. I click on the data labels, and if you don't have the Format Data Label option that comes up, you just right-click and you press Format Data Labels. So here, in this instance, I want it on top, above. I want to change the color of the label itself, so I might as well go here. And I press this, and I will be putting the bench script here, condensed. Marker option, I'm just going to put none. I'm just going to reduce the size of the line. It's a little bit too much in your face here. Just going to put 1, and I'm going to put the color of the line in this deep purple as well. And so it doesn't look too lost, I'm just going to add the shadow as well. So now hopefully that makes it clear. I'm just going to add a few lines here so it just... So what's important now is to get the first one right. This is the first type of savings right, because when we start duplicating after, we just want to do a basic copy and paste. So just checking that everything is okay. Now, just to make it clear that those fields are not to be entered, you can put a very light gray in the font. So there are more like working areas that you don't really want to amend. So here the same here. And so it has to be clear that the fields to input on the when you use this is only the yellow ones there. So now to duplicate, it's never perfect, but there's something that you need to do is, if you haven't done it already, but it's quite hidden in Excel, you go under Options, and you go under Advanced, and you go under Charts, and you make sure that you have this box ticked. So it's usually not ticked. Properties follow chart data point for all new workbooks. Because if you create other charts, you need to make sure that at least you keep the same formatting so you don't have to redo everything that I've done. The only thing that you should have to do really is the changing the colors. So once you're happy with this, you just need to duplicate it. We still have these 2 fields here that you can make very small, or we can make them disappear by grouping them, but for the moment I will be just leaving them here. So, but you need to make sure that you copy those as well, that you include those. So you just select those columns here. Say you select those 4, you do a copy, and then you do an insert copy cells here. And first of all, you need to make sure that the chart data has been followed. So here, for instance, when I click on the first chart here, it still refers to this one. So you need to drag it and making sure it refers to this one. Now, same for the other chart. Click not on the label like this, but on the chart, and you just bring it back here. And then you just click on this, on the target, and it should come here. I've created the 2 others and I finalized them with the colors that I mentioned earlier on. I've created actually 2 different currencies, the Australian dollars and the euro. And just a note on currency while I'm at it is that the calculation I do here to format the numbers with the currency is I should really unlock this one to be precise. I should really unlock the currency here. So when I copy it across, it follows. So that's the first thing to take note of. And obviously you'll see as well that for the text boxes, when you copy a text box, it still refers back to the old. So that's the second thing that you need to bear in mind. The currency, the text boxes, and the chart as well. But as we have changed this option in the chart, so it's just a matter of changing colors once all this is done. Now, if you don't like those, if you can reduce those, obviously, because they are not really used, you can do this, and you can create as many as you like. So I hope you have fun with this, and let me know how you go.